isolation levels. So let's first create the sample table. So I'm in the learning database. I don't have tables as of now. So I'm going ahead and creating this table and inserting the data in the table. And in the last two statements, I'm selecting the data from the table. So it's only 3 records into the table. Okay. So I'm seeing the 3 records and I'm seeing the salary for ID equal to 1, which is 1000 in this case. So yeah, going ahead. So first we are talking about read committed isolation level. So in this isolation level, it only reads the committed values. So first of all, I'm going to run session 1. I'm going to run in session 2. Okay. So first thing first, so I'm running this session 1 just to see the data. So I can see that salary is 1000. So in this session 2 query, for the read committed, I'm actually changing the salary for ID equal to 1 to 999, and I'm committing the transaction after 15 seconds. So when I run the query in the session 2, this query, so this is not affected until 15 seconds. So before that, I'm going to come back and run the same query which I ran before, and see if it gets this 999. It should not, because it's not committed yet. Okay, so let's go and run session 2. So I'm coming back here and I'm running this query again. It should not read 999, or it should wait for 15 seconds for this transaction to be completed, so that it's committed and it can read it. So this is committed. So before the transaction, it's 1000, and once I updated 15 seconds, I have waited to update and commit the transaction. Then after that, I am running the salary, and then I see it's 999. And once it crosses 15 seconds, then it is reading the committed values. So read committed just gets the values which are committed. So this will prevent dirty reads. Okay, this is the default option of the database. So before going ahead, I'm running this query just to change what we have done just now, to change it to 1000 back from 999. So I'm just executing this thing. Okay, so the second isolation level is read uncommitted. So in this isolation level, we will have dirty reads, because we'll have repeatable and all kind of reads here, because it's reading the data which is not committed. So for example, in this case for uncommitted, okay, I don't have a query here, so I'm just for the read uncommitted, I'm just pasting the same query, and I'm saying rollback run. Okay, so we know that under uncommitted data, because there is no transaction running on the same table as of now, so you can see that it's 1000. So I'm going to the session 2 and I'm running this query, so which is this thing, and I'm trying to update the salary to 999, and I'm waiting for 15 seconds, and I'm rolling back the transaction. Then I'm seeing the data. Okay, so because I set it to the uncommitted data, I am going to the session 1 and I'm running this query. So before we did not see the data, but it will just show you 999, because it's showing you the uncommitted data. So we'll wait for 15 seconds for this session 2 query to complete. Okay, so what is happening here is salary is 1000 before, then you are updating it to 999. You are waiting for 15 seconds, and you are rolling back the transaction. Okay, so this 991 should not be there, and you are reading it as 1000 afterwards. But in between, when this transaction is being processed, you are reading the data and you are seeing the data as 999. So for whatever reason your transaction fails or rollbacks, with the read uncommitted isolation level, you will have dirty reads because it's reading uncommitted data. The other isolation level we have is repeatable read. So here our intention is to avoid dirty reads and non-repeatable reads. Okay, so let's go ahead and see how this works. So in the repeatable read, what it does is it basically locks the table, so it doesn't allow anyone to update anything uh, until this transaction is done. So in that way, it ensures that people are reading uncommitted, people are reading committed data, and nothing is being inserted or nothing is being changed when the process which is locking the table or locking the rows is working on. Okay. So here we'll talk two cases. So this is case one. So here I'm showing session one and session two. So let's go ahead and run this thing. Okay. So in this case, so I'm running this session. It's actually selecting data from employee, and then it waits for 30 seconds. Then it's one more select, and it's rolled back. And in the second session, what I'm doing is I'm updating the employee to 999. So before that, I just have to see what is the salary now. So it's 1000 now. Okay. So let's see how it works. So I'm running this session one for the repeatable read, execute, and I'm copying this query for the session 2, and I'm running. So this should wait until everything is done, because this is updating for the record ID equal to 1, which is part of this select statement, because it has 3 records, it is getting all these 3 records. So this cannot be done because this transaction is being run, and this data which is being updated is being impacted by this data or this transaction. Okay, so once you have 30 seconds, you have these two queries, and you will also have this query run, and you can see now it's impacted. So let's go and see what is it now. So you can see now it is 999. Okay. So in this case, it is locking this table. Sorry, it is locking these rows. So so you can't do anything with the when the transaction is on and when you are trying to change something in that search criteria. Okay. And here in the case 2, what I am doing is I'm running the same transaction in the session 1, but here I am inserting the data into the table which is not matching this search criteria. So, so we'll see what happens. So again, I'm running the same query in session 1. So this time it's only waiting for 15 seconds. So I go back session 2 and run this query. It should not wait because you are not impacting the search criteria. You are just inserting the data. So you can see before it waited for 30 seconds, now it did not. So this is a repeatable read. Okay, here you can avoid dirty read, but there is a chance of data being inserted and you reading that data, which in our case it's 11 steward 11,000. Okay, so serializable read is you avoid everything here, like dirty read, non-repeatable read, and phantom read. How it does that? It doesn't allow you to update anything which the current transaction is using. So again here I'm running this session 1, okay? Then I'll go and try to insert session 2 here. So I'm copying this query and I'm going back here and I'm inserting the data here. So it should actually, it's a conflict here because it's a primary. Okay, let me do this for 30 seconds. I'm trying to insert record 13 here. So let's see. So I'm running this transaction in session 1 under serializable. So I go here and I run this. So this should wait for 30 seconds because it doesn't allow you to, even though it's not in the search criteria, it's locking the whole table. That's why it doesn't allow you to update or insert anything. Okay, so this will vary if it is a range search. For that, you need to actually create a primary key on the table. In this case, I'm actually making my ID column as not null. And when you create a condition here, like insert or update into table, where ID between 1 and 2, then in that case it might or it will lock 1 and 2, but it doesn't allow you. It doesn't allow you in this case because it's locking the whole table. So here we are avoiding dirty read, non-repeatable reads, and phantom reads. Okay, so serializable is the best isolation level to get the correct information, but this will affect performance because it's locking the whole table, and or it's doing a table lock or range lock to get or impact the data it wants.